Welcome to story time on how I became cabin crew for one of the best airlines in the world, Emirates Airlines. This video has been long overdue. I get requests on the daily just asking, how does one become cabin crew? How do you even apply? What's the process? So today what I'm gonna do is just give you a story time on how I became cabin crew, because I feel like that would help you a lot more than going through the actual process, because the process continues to change and varies from airline to airline. So let's start off with how I even became cabin crew. Like, why did I even want to become one? And this actually happened all by chance, you guys. I went to a party and I met these two girls. And these two girls were telling me about how they just recently got hired for Emirates Airlines. And I told them that I always wanted to be a flight attendant, but was never able to, just because of the fact that I felt like I was too short and I didn't qualify. And they were just like, listen, we were about the same height kind of thing. So they were like, no, I think you will qualify. And if you actually just look on their website for Emirates, their qualifications, I mean, it's pretty basic. You just need to know English, how to speak and write English. You had to graduate high school, and pretty much that's it. There's some height restrictions and, you know, things like tattoo and health and things like that. But other than that, I mean, I should qualify. So at that time, I was actually in between jobs. It was during the recession. So I was looking for other opportunities, and they were telling me just to go onto the Emirates career website, which I did. And they have what you call open days. So on the Emirates website, you'll see open days, and they have these open interviews all around the world. So you just have to apply and see what the qualifications are to apply. Some you just show up, some you have to apply online. And there was one being held in Vancouver, BC, which is where I am and where I'm from, a month from when I checked. So I was like, oh, this is a sign. So I ended up applying. I sent in my application. They told me to go on the open days. Guys, I didn't know what to expect. I was just going, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it out, and if I don't get it, I don't get it, whatever, right? And I was kind of like still pretty confident going in. and when I got there, you guys, it's insane. There was like 1,000 people. Like it was hosted at a hotel, and there was so many people there, and it got me really like, then I started to get stressed. I'm like, oh my God, this is like really, really competitive. I had no idea. I just kind of went. And while we were waiting for our turn, I was just talking to the other applicants, and they came from all over the world. They flew in for this interview from the States, all around Canada, even Asia. And a lot of them actually had experience, like a lot of flying experience. And oh my God, I still have goosebumps right now. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get this. Like that's what I thought. And so my confidence level just completely dropped, and I got really, really nervous. And then they called my name, and they're like, okay, you know, the first thing they did was measure my height and my reach. So this is important, guys. I didn't know why they were doing that. The reason why they do this is because in the plane, they have those overhead bins. You need to be able to close it, and you need to be able to reach all the safety equipment that's being held in there. And yeah, so this is my story. I actually was like less than an inch short. They put a piece of tape and they literally just say, on your tippy toes, reach that line. So I tried to reach as high as I could, and I was off by like this much, and I was stressing out. I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna get it. I knew it, I was too short. And I just kind of looked at the interviewer. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. And she actually looked at me and smiled, and she said, close enough. You guys, I'm 5'4", 160, is that 163, 164 centimeters? So yeah, but I made it through for the height check. And then after that, they brought me in with this interviewer. It was literally like 5 minutes, not even, because they had to go through so many people. And what it was is just ask me, you know, why I wanted to be cabin crew and why Emirates. So those are the two questions that I was asked. I was being honest, but I didn't want it to be so basic and say, oh, because I, you know, love to travel. Come on, everybody loves to travel, okay? You gotta do something else. So at the time, I never actually did get to travel out of North America, minus Mexico. I've been to Mexico, but I have never been to Europe or Asia or Australia, anything like that. So this was something else for me. And also my background is in hospitality management, and I loved working with people. I worked in hotels, so that was definitely a leverage for me. But anyways, so at the time, what they do is if they like you, they will give you a card to tell you to come back the next day. So I found that when I was waiting, all these people had cards or didn't get one. So if you don't get a card, you pretty much didn't make it. So I was anxiously waiting, and she hands me a card and it said, please return for day 2 of your interviews. So I was really happy about that. Hey guys, so yesterday I filmed everything, and then when it was time to edit, I realized that some of my footage, the remainder of the footage, was missing because I didn't press record. This is why I don't YouTube. All right, so obviously it's another day. It's the day after, so I'm going to re-record. So don't mind me, it looks totally different. Okay then, so let's just continue on with our story time again. Okay, so on day 2, the next day, is what they call the assessment day. And it was at the same hotel. I believe it was around 80 to 100 people that made it to the assessment day. So already from like 1,000, not that many people made it to the next day. And how they started off with was just a brief introduction on Emirates, kind of what to expect if you're going to move and relocate to Emirates, your basic duties. It's just an introduction. They show a video and stuff. After that, they broke us up into multiple groups. We did some icebreakers, and I've been through so many interviews, but this was just wild. I've never experienced anything like this, and it was so stressful. You guys know, like American Idol, Survivor, that style, they eliminate you. And this is how it goes. So they break you up into groups, and they'll give you some questions. It was a basic question. It was just us in a circle, and they were just saying, go around and tell us if you can have dinner with one person, anybody, who would it be and why? And I don't really know what they were trying to get out of this. Maybe they were just trying to see how we speak and what we say, and if we're fun or whatever it is. But I don't even remember what I said, in all honesty. I'm pretty sure I said something so basic, like Oprah or something, you know, because I don't know. I remember someone saying Brad Pitt, and someone was like, oh, random people. But that was fine. So get this, after we finish, they tell us to leave the room for about 15 minutes. So we're all just like outside. They call us back in, and there are tables with cards with our names on them, and they're flipped over. So you pick the card, and it'll tell you if you made it to the next round, or if it's like, peace out, see you later. Like, who does that? It's so stressful. So I picked my name, and I made it to the next round. thank goodness. But you see all these people like going to the elevator and they're just like obviously super, super sad. It was a sad thing to see. For the other group assessment, this one was really hard. But I lucked out, and I'm going to tell you why. So the same thing, they broke us up into groups, and they gave us a problem. So as a group, you're supposed to solve this problem. And our problem was, we work at a hotel, we have 5 rooms available, but there are 10 guests still due to check in. So, and they give us a profile of each guest. So it can be like honeymooners, business people, high profile celebrity or something like that, and one-time travelers, things like that. And they just let us figure it out on our own. And in the end, we're supposed to present it as a group, what our answer is and why. So I kind of already knew, suspected that they were looking for a lot of teamwork. Come on, like that's what, and your problem solving skills and how you solve it in a team. So I knew I had to say something, but not be overpowering because like obviously you need leadership. Someone has to take the lead. But in this case, I don't think that's what they were looking for, okay? So I just let everybody talk. And there were some people who were taking charge and they were just talking the entire time. They felt like they needed to talk. There were some who were too nervous. They didn't say a word, which is not good. That's not right. And I waited till the very end to speak, because I actually knew the answer to this problem. I don't know if you guys know, but I've actually, prior to this, I studied hospitality management, and I worked with one of the top hotel chains in the world, Fairmont Hotels and Resorts. So I do know what they do and who they choose. And and if you guys are curious, the answer to that is, what people don't know is that when you actually make a reservation, they guarantee a room for you, but that room doesn't necessarily have to be at that hotel. It's very strange. Obviously they want it to be at their hotel first, but they do guarantee you a room. So if they don't have that room available, they will book you another room at the same quality style hotel. Meaning if you're at a 5-star hotel, they'll book you into another 5-star hotel within the city. They'll also help you transfer there. They'll also pay for the room. And if you're staying for more than one night and you return the next day to the hotel, most likely, if it's available, they'll upgrade you. They'll maybe give you dinner vouchers. I mean, you get a lot of perks just for not having that room available to you. Knowing that, there are some travelers that would love that. Like, I would love that, right? So that's how you prioritize on who you decide to take and who you decide to, say sorry about this. We're gonna put you into another hotel for tonight. Obviously the business travelers and the high profile, they do get to stay at our hotel. Maybe honeymooners, because it's a special occasion. We'll probably accommodate them because they probably have set some stuff up. So the second group interview was finished and they do the exact same thing. They are going to tell us to leave the room and return after 15 minutes, cards laying with our names on them, and some people leaving at the elevators. I made it, but after this, they put you through a written exam. We're already so exhausted. I believe this entire day was like 8 hours. It was like a full day of interviews. But anyway, so they put us through a written exam. It's a personality test as well as like an English test. And it's pretty basic. They weren't trying to trick you or anything. Personality wise, you shouldn't lie. You obviously know which one is going to be the right answer, the one they want. But in all honesty, you should be honest about this, because certain personalities cannot make it in this role. And that is what they're looking for. And imagine that you want this job and you move all the way to Dubai and you relocate, and all of a sudden you're like, no, I can't do this. I don't like this job. It's not for me. Oh my goodness. It's not, no, you wouldn't want to do that. So answer that honestly. And for the English one, it was very, very basic. So just read this. What does it mean? Multiple choice. But you do have to pass it. Okay. So after this, then we moved on to the one-on-one final interviews. Yes, this was all on the same day. And this was so wild. Okay, so we're all just waiting and awaiting our turn. And I've noticed that people that were coming out of the interview, like some of them were in tears, like really, really bad. And that got me really nervous. I've done a lot of one-on-one interviews in my life, and I felt pretty comfortable because I kind of see it as a discussion to see if, we'll work out together. And I'm always very, very honest. So I'd never had a problem with one-on-one interviews. But going in and seeing people come out crying, it's kind of, whoa, like, why does that even happen? How does that happen? So I walked in and the interviewer was very cold. Didn't smile. And I don't know if this is a tactic. I feel like it was a thing that they did to test us. I didn't know at the time. But yeah, so they're asking me basic interview questions. Like, you can look them up, one-on-one interview questions. Just I answered it. And every single answer that I gave, they would respond with a why or a how come. Like this, how come? Why? Why? Why'd you leave that? I don't understand. So it was like, they were like poking me, poke, 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 poke. And I realized, like, at this role, yeah, you're gonna get some horrible people up in the skies, and you're gonna have to remain calm, like super calm. And this smile, like, my friends gave me some tips. They're like, never let this fade. So even though I just kept saying, and you guys have seen in my skits anyways, and answered the best I could. And during the time, we would get interrupted by other interviewers. They would come in and pretend that I wasn't even there. Isn't that bizarre? That's so bizarre. So they would come in and just talk amongst themselves and just like totally ignore me. And I'm just sitting there going, what the hell is going on, right? They would also, she put a box of tissue and slid it over. And I was like listening. I was just looking at it like, what is happening? And I knew that they were trying to break me. And I think that is the ultimate test. Can I break this person in front of me by being as mean and rude as I possibly can? And they didn't break me, just so you guys know. They did not. So after we were done our final interviews, we were sent home. They told us that if we were to be hired, they'll let us know within a few weeks. They send all of their data back to Dubai, and their HR handles it. So we ended up getting, I ended up getting all of the contacts of all the other interviewees. And we kept in touch to see who would get hired first. And finally, it started rolling. So people were getting hired. And finally, I got my call. And pretty much it was like, hey, we want you. Here is your plane ticket. You're set to come here next week. You're relocating. Pack your bags. Let's go. And that's exactly what I did. Out of the thousands that applied, that came, in the end, they hired about 12. So 12 were given job offers. 7 made it to Dubai. So 7 actually accepted. Some decided at the end they didn't want to go. They were really scared. But when you hear that it's harder to be a flight attendant than to get into Harvard, this is what they mean. the competitiveness. It doesn't mean, of course, that we're smarter. Come on, I could never get into Harvard. No way. Not with this brain, okay? With all my brain parts, there's no way. But just the level of applicants and the people that are accepted, that is what they mean. Emirates itself gets about 20,000 applicants a month. So I was very lucky, and I was very, very grateful to be even offered this. On the subject of hiring and interviews, I do want to go through a few things that a lot of you had questions about, and I want to address it right now. Number one is, where do I even apply, or how do I even look for it? So please, every airline is completely different. Their qualifications are different. The hiring process is different. So all you need to do, choose the airline that you wish to work for and apply for. Every airline has a careers page. You're gonna go on there, just go under cabin crew or flight attendant, and it'll list out all of the qualifications that they're looking for and their application process. That's all you need to do. So just follow the guideline and do what they say, and that's how you get started, okay? Emirates itself, like I said, it was just on Emirates Careers, and you had to go through the open days and apply that way. Another question I want to address right now is about what you can do now to prepare yourself to be a flight attendant. And this is important because a lot of the airlines are not hiring right now. And I don't really know, because of COVID, how long this is gonna last. It's a very sad time for all of the current cabin crew have been furloughed or laid off, and it's just really sad. So when they're actually gonna hire, I have no idea, but everything recovers. Everything recovers. So to prepare yourself right now, here are some of my tips. Number one, maybe gain some experience in customer service. If you can, try to get a server position, because we do serve in the sky, and that will be extremely helpful. If you can get a job in the hotel, but hotels kind of got hit bad in COVID as well, that's good. Any kind of fast food is actually amazing too. It's very stressful. It's a very stressful and quick environment. And if you get used to that and still can do it with a smile, you are good to go. So if you can do it, you're good. Another tip would be, this is a bit, obviously takes a lot longer, is to learn another language if you don't have another language. Having another language is an asset, definitely an asset. For Emirates, not required, but if they had to choose between one or the other, and the other person spoke another language, they're gonna choose that person, okay? So if you can, then do that. You can also get first aid training. That is huge. I think every city kind of has their own programs where you can just apply, and it's like a day's worth of training and you get a certification. If on your CV, when you're applying to these airlines and you show that you have first aid skills, they're gonna love that. They really are, because we need that in the air. If you watch my videos, you know we need that. It's very, very important and crucial to our role. So that is something else that you can do. Okay, I think that's it for story time. Let's pray that I actually recorded this time. Can't believe I did that. What is wrong with me? I think it is the planets aligning or something. I think that's happening today, but I don't know. But anyways, I also came up earlier in the summer, I came up with the cabin crew ebook. It's just like a quick guide to becoming cabin crew. I'll put the link down there if that's something that will help you. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions or something that you want me to address, please comment below, and I will continue to share all my stories and videos with you. Thank you for watching. Bye!